I hope to learn a lot from him this week.
What have you seen looking at Ohio?
I mean, just basically they're a good defense. They don't really let you do what you want to do. They're balanced. They can mix it up on you, but overall they'll be a very tough challenge.
It's like the strangest thing in between. You got a few text messages you say, is it you recognize now at the supermarket or what? I mean, what's the last 48 hours been like, Jason?
One little funny story. I went up to Bass Pro Shop Saturday afternoon. My birthday's in a couple weeks, and my dad wanted me to get my birthday present out of the way because he kind of knew it was going to be chaotic.
When is your birthday?
November 23rd.
Gosh.
So I was up in Bass Pro Shops, and I was trying some waders on, some hunting waders. And the guy's like, did you go to the game today? And I was like, yeah. And he said, did it look as rough in person as it did on TV? And I said, you have no idea. But, I mean, otherwise, it hasn't been bad. I mean, I've received a lot of support. I mean, that's the biggest thing. People contacting me, telling me they're behind me, and all my teammates. So, basically, nothing's changed.
When you looked at yourself and your performance, what did you see?
I mean, there was mistakes, but, I mean, they're not big. I can fix them. It's mistakes I shouldn't have made, but I mean I did. So it's mistakes that I usually don't make in practice. But I mean, given the situation, I slipped a little bit. But they're all fixable, and that's what I plan on doing this week.
Okay. Big stage.
Yeah, definitely a big stage.
According to Pat Anger, he's literally choked you unconscious. Can we get a little more of the story on that? Because Pat has a tendency to embellish.
Yeah, no, that's not totally true. Pat's a real good friend of mine. He's real good with all the guys on the team. He's real good with the younger guys. I remember he was one of the first guys that I really hung out with on the team last summer as a true freshman coming in. But I go over to his house with him and Troy and Tyler Sash all the time and hang out. And yeah, we've had some wrestling matches over the off season that they were a little lopsided. I don't think he's ever put me unconscious, but I think he's came pretty close.
Well, you could take him in tennis, couldn't you?
Yeah, probably. I don't think he's very good at tennis.
Well, you ought to try.
Get a win under my belt.
It's a long way though from Joyce Park in Keokuk to the Ohio Stadium in Columbus.
Yeah, it's gonna be a big different stage I've never been on, but I mean, I've been in Kinnick enough, and I mean, just going on the road, you get used to these atmospheres. I mean, they're all hostile. This is the Big Ten. Nobody's just a pushover when you walk in. So, I mean, it'll be a great challenge this weekend. No, I was wearing regular clothes.
I was just average, really.
Yeah, I was just an average guy, and he had just guessed that I was in the game. I guess I don't know.
Where was that at? Which?
That was at Bass Pro Shops up in Des Moines.
Des Moines?
Mm-hmm.
What's your dad?
Toby.
You mentioned just watching Ricky that you've learned some of the tricks and some of the plays, but have you also learned maybe some of the on-field demeanor that he brought to the game as well?
Oh, yeah. He rubs that off on everybody, I think, the whole time you're with him. He's a very calm character, as you guys probably all know. He's very cool under fire. I mean, you can't tell ever if he's rattled. And I think he's definitely rubbed that off on me. He keeps everything in perspective that, I mean, it's never going to be that bad. There's always something out there that could be worse. And when you look at it that way, I mean, it really helps you relax.
After watching the film, how do you come out of that?
And I learned a lot. I learned a ton, obviously. There was mistakes, just like I knew there was. But, I mean, in the end, I'm going to do my best to correct them and hopefully not make those in the future.
Is there, you guys went to shotgun a lot toward the end. Was that just because you were going to pass or was it time to pass?
I mean, I'm not really sure. We do it both ways in practice and just all year. I mean, we mix it up based on the situation. It has its advantages, it has its disadvantages. I never even really thought about it. I mean, it doesn't matter to me if we're in a center and gun.
As coaches, the coaches get to you Saturday a little bit because, or Saturday night, I mean, saying it because they know it's...
I mean, yeah, I think they knew I was going to be okay. I mean, it's not a life or death situation. They made sure I knew that after the game. And I mean, with all the support I received from my teammates and all the coaches, I mean, I was fine. There was nothing to worry about.
How does game planning start already for you?
Yeah, for me personally, I mean, it's a whole different week now. There's a lot more on the plate. Even at practice, there's a lot more responsibility. So I've been just taking myself through it, make sure I'm going to do everything I can to make this week go.
What was Sunday like?
Sunday was that correction day, watching the Northwestern film. It went about how I thought it was going to. I mean, I knew most of the corrections, but then we just did our jog, and then we ate dinner, and then Rick wanted to watch film, so we watched some film and got a jump start on Ohio State.
What was that like, watching film with Rick?
I mean, he started
just... a little bit different.
Yeah, it was definitely different. But he's very upbeat about the whole thing. Like, I mean, if I was talking to him on the phone, I don't even know if I could tell he was injured. Like, he knows it's a unfortunate situation, and he's going to do his best to get back as quick as he can, but I mean, he knows he's going to have to help me out, and he does a great job of that.
Is that why he's going Saturday? I mean, he's still captain and he's still in the mix.
I mean, he's a huge part of our team. He's definitely one of our leaders, and I think a lot of people look to him, including me and the other quarterbacks. So, I mean, I think it'll be awesome having him there.
You don't seem too overwhelmed by this.
Not yet.
Good thing.
Yeah, I'd say it's definitely a good thing. There's a long ways to go. I mean, I'm trying to be more like Rick and keep everything kind of in perspective. Stay grounded. Don't take anything too harshly or too lightly. I mean, I'm going to give it my best this week, and that's all I can do is work as hard as I can.
James, in Horseshoe, Big Ten title on the line, 110-something thousand fans. Can you imagine a more daunting scenario for a guy to have their first start as their career?
Yeah, I mean, in my eyes, we could be 0-10. I think that might be worse, but we're not. We've had a good season. We're proud of what we've done, but we want to keep working. So, I mean, it's just another step. Yeah, it's a big step. There's stuff on the line, and it's a great environment to play in. They're a good team, but I mean, we look forward to the challenge.
For you personally, you must be dreaming about this type of scenario for almost your whole life. It's here. How exciting is that for you to think this Saturday what you're going to step into?
Yeah, I mean, it's extremely exciting, and I think we're all looking forward to it. It's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for everybody on this team. I mean, these don't come around all the time, so I think that'll really motivate us. Not that we're not motivated otherwise, but I mean, really push us this week in practice, and especially me, just to make sure I cover everything I can cover to make sure I'm prepared as well as I can be.
This team has been so on message all year long with the one game at a time, only focusing on that game each week. But this week's game has Big Ten title implications. Whoever wins goes to the Rose Bowl. What do you think about that?
Yeah, but in reality, I mean, honestly, we've never even talked about that as a team. I mean, we look at it. We're facing Ohio State this weekend, and they're a good team just like the other 10 opponents we played, and we have to find a way to win. And, I mean, it's going to be a challenge. They're obviously a good team. But, I mean, I think we all realize that all hope's not lost after Northwestern. We're not going to sit around and sulk around. We're going to move on. And this week it's Ohio State, and we plan on getting after it this week in practice to make sure we're prepared.